Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're looking at 2 Samuel 3 and 4. Well, we've seen that David has been in the middle of a lot of problems. Saul had been a difficulty in his life for a long time. Even though David was anointed the king, he still had to wait all the way through Saul. Now he's waited a few years while Ishbosheth, Saul's son, is being a problem also. Now, we also see in this chapter that David starts having sons born to him in Hebron. He moved there. God said, hey, move over to Hebron. So David obeys. And so some of those names that we'll see in there actually start weaving in their own stories. And some more difficulties, because people are difficult. Abner has been working for the house of Saul. He was there guiding Saul in all his business, and now he's been guiding Ishbosheth, and it's been a tough battle for David. However, Abner kind of gets in a little fight with Ishbosheth over a concubine that was Saul's that that Abner has been showing some interest in. We'll say it that way. And so because of this fight, Abner leaves. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go work for David. And he looks David up. David recognizes he's a great strategist, great leader. Sure, we'll take you in. But it doesn't go so well for Abner because Joab does not like Abner. He's been biding his time. But if you will recall, Abner killed Joab's brother Asahel as he was chasing him down in a fight. He thrust the spear backwards and right through and killed him. So Joab's been waiting. And sure enough, Joab kills Abner in revenge, and Israel mourns. Now this is a big blow to Ishbosheth. He's out there and he's been leading this people, but he really doesn't have any power or skill at it. And now without Abner there to kind of guide him and help him, it's like he's floundering and tribes are going to want to leave him. And as a matter of fact, two guys take matters into their own hands. Rahab and Bahma. It could be Rachab, but my Hebrew's rusty, right? They go and they kill Ishbosheth. They make some excuse to be in his house, like they're going to gather up some wheat. And while he's laying on his bed, they kill him, chop off his head, and go give the head as a present to David, thinking, look, we've done you a favor. And David shakes his head and said, look, there was that one guy who came and told me about Saul. He was a complete foreigner, an enemy in the middle of battle, and he killed him. We killed that guy. Now you two, in cold blood, not even in a battle, go to this guy's house and kill him while he's laying in bed. So, what do you think, fellas? What am I going to do to you? So those two guys are killed as revenge, and actually per the law of Israel, right? Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. So David was patient. He's waited through all these difficult times, and now finally he's going to get the throne. I mean, we're talking about years here, people. Years. So, here our story is progressing in David's life. Let's check it out. Chapter 3. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. And unto David were born sons in Hebron. The firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and his second Chileab of Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. Remember her? And the third Absalom, the son of Maachah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. And the fourth Adonijah, the son of Haggith. And the fifth Shephatiah, the son of Abital. And the sixth Itriam, by Eglah, David's wife. And these were born unto David in Hebron. So a couple of those we'll recognize for sure. I'm pretty sure Ahinoam is going to be mentioned again. I know Absalom is going to be mentioned again. And maybe we'll get some Adonijah in there. So stick with those names. Lots of A names going on, which I like. just so you know. And it came to pass, while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David, that Abner made himself strong in the house of Saul. And Saul had a concubine, whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Ai. And Ishbosheth said unto Abner, Wherefore hast thou gone into my father's concubine? Then Abner was very wroth for the words of Ishbosheth, and said, Am I a dog's head, which against Judah do show kindness this day unto the house of Saul thy father, to his brethren and to his friends, and have not delivered thee into the hand of David, that thou chargest me today with a fault concerning the woman? So God to Abner do, and more also, except that the Lord hath sworn to David, even so I will do unto him. So, listen, I've been trying to do these things to David, now I'm going to do them to you, or God do them to me if I don't accomplish that. To translate the kingdom from the house of Saul, and set up the throne of David over Israel, and over Judah, and from Dan to Beersheba. So Abner says, that's it, I'm out, I'm taking the kingdom from you, and I'm going to make sure David gets it. And he could not answer Abner a word again, because he feared him. And Abner sent messengers unto David on his behalf, saying, Whose is the land? Saying also, Make thy league with me, and behold, my hand shall be with thee, to bring about all Israel unto thee. And he said, Well, I will make a league with thee, but one thing I require of thee, that is, thou shalt not see my face, except thou bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when thou comest to see my face. So remember, Michal was married to David, and when David went into fleeing, Saul just gave her away to someone else to be married to. And David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Deliver me my wife Michal, which I espoused to me for 100 foreskins, the Philistines. So Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, even from Paltiel, the son of Laish. And her husband went along with her, weeping behind her, to Bahurim. Then Abner said unto him, Go, return. And he returned. It's kind of a weird situation. I don't know. But, you know, when we run across these kind of strange situations, to me, it's like, once again, proving the Bible accurate. Like, why would you record this? It's kind of a strange situation, unless it were true. Abner had communication with the elders of Israel, saying, Ye sought for David in times past to be king over you. Now then, do it. For the Lord has spoken to David, saying, By the hand of my servant David I will save my people, Israel, out of the hand of the Philistines, and out of the hands of all their enemies. And Abner spake in the ears of Benjamin. And Abner went to speak in the ears of David in Hebron, and all that seemed good to Israel, and seemed good to the whole house of Benjamin. So Abner came to David in Hebron, 20 men with him. And David made Abner and the men who were there with him a feast. And Abner said unto David, I will rise and go, and will gather all Israel unto my lord the king, that they make a league with thee, and that thou mayest reign over all that thine heart desireth. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from pursuing a troop, and brought in a great spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he was gone in peace. When Joab and all the host that was with him were saying, Come, they told to Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he has sent him away, and he's gone in peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What hast thou done? Behold, Abner came to thee. Why is it that thou sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou knowest Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and know thy going out and thy coming in, and know all thou doest, which isn't really why he came. And Joab was come out from David. He sent his messengers after Abner, which brought him again into the well of Sirah, but David knew it not. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him quietly aside to speak with him, and smote him there under the 5th rib, and he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. And afterward David heard of it, and he said, My kingdom we're guiltless before the Lord forever for the blood of Abner son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house, and let there not fail from the house. Ooh, this is a nasty curse, by the way. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house. Let there not fail one from the house of Joab that hath an issue, like blood or whatever, some sort of leaking nasty thing, or that falleth on the sword, or that lacketh bread. So your guy's going to be sick and diseased, or somebody's going to die by the sword, or somebody's going to be hungry. That's a nasty curse. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Asahel in Gibeon in the battle. David said to Joab, to all the people who are with you, rend your clothes, and gird you with sackcloth, and mourn for Abner. And King David himself followed the bier, the procession there. And they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner, and said, died Abner as a fool dieth? Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put in fetters. As a man falleth before a wicked man, so fellest thou. And all the people wept over him. And when all the people came to cause David to eat meat while it was yet day, David swore, no, so God do to me, or more also, if I taste bread or aught else, till the sun be down. And all the people took notice of it, and it pleased them. And whatsoever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Israel stood that day, that it was not the king to slay Abner the son of Ner. The king said unto his servants, know ye not that there is a prince and a great man fallen this day in Israel? For I am this today weak, though anointed king. And these men, the sons of Zeruiah, be too hard for me. The Lord shall reward the doer of evil according to his wickedness. So, king's good in everybody's eyes. Chapter 4. And when Saul's son heard that Abner was dead in Hebron, his hands were feeble, and all the Israelites were troubled. And Saul's son had 2 men that were captains of bands. And the name was one Baanah, and the other Rechab. And the sons of Rimmon, a Beerothite, of the children of Benjamite. For Beeroth was also reckoned to Benjamin, and the Beerothites fled to Gittaim, and were sojourners there to this day. And Jonathan, Saul's son, had a son who was lame in his feet. He was 5 years old when the tidings of Saul and Jonathan came out of Jezreel. And his nurse took him up and fled, and it came to pass as she made haste to flee that he fell and became lame, and his name was Mephibosheth. Now that's extra information about the family of Saul. And we're going to hear more about Mephibosheth in a minute. And the sons of Rimmon, the Beerothite, Rechab, and Baanah went and came to the land about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay on a bed at noon. And they came hither into the midst of the house, and as though they would fetch wheat. And they smote him under the 5th rib, and Rechab and Baanah his brother escaped. For when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in his bedchamber, and they smote him and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gat them away through the plain all night. They brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, behold, the head of Ishbosheth. Here it is. The son of Saul, thine enemy, which thou sought. And the Lord hath avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed. And David answered Rechab and Baanah his brother, the sons of Rimmon, the Beerothite, who said unto them, as the Lord liveth, who hath redeemed my soul out of adversity? When one told me, saying, behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought me good tidings, I took a hold of him and slew him in Ziklag. Who thought he would have given a reward for his tidings? How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house, on his own bed? Shall I not now require his blood of your hand to take you away from the earth? And David commanded his young men, and they slew them, and cut off their hands and feet, and hanged them up over the pool of Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried him in a sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. So, end result, David's ready to take the throne. Would not go as David quite wanted. He did not want to slay an innocent man. But nevertheless, sometimes circumstances work out a certain way unexpectedly. So David's going to take the throne, and we're going to see more about what he does with that as we continue on through 2 Samuel. I'll catch you next time.